Hello, this is a tutorial on Padlet. Padlet is possibly the easiest way to create and collaborate in a digital app. Now Padlet, which you can get to at www.padlet.com, is actually a web-based as well as a mobile-based app, so you can use it on desktops or laptops. You can also use it on Apple iOS devices as well as Android devices. So what Padlet allows you to do, it's a free app. It allows you to build walls or Padlets, which are really digital bulletin boards. So it allows you to do collaboration, presentation. Students can do reflection. Can also be used for compare and contrast and digital storytelling. You can also have students do topic summaries. It's a way to collect feedback. It can be a way to gather either individually or in groups notes. You can use it for entrance or exit tickets. You can bookmark favorite links. You can create KWL charts, or what do I already know, what do I want to know, and what have I learned, KWL. Again, collaborative in groups. You can do brainstorming. It can be used for back channels, for discussions, a lot of different uses. So let's get into it and show what it's all about. You do not have to, or your students do not have to sign up for an account. However, that just allows you to create a Padlet, and that's about all you can do with it. You can share it at that particular point, but you don't have the ability to save it if you need to come back to it later. Now, this is your dashboard. Once you create an account, you can just use an email or email password combination, or you also have the ability to log in with your Facebook account or with your Google Plus account. I just created one using an email, and this is the dashboard. If I had Padlets already created, they would actually be listed here. Now, before I get started and show you how easy it is to use Padlet and build your wall, let me show you some examples of what some others have done. So this is an Odyssey timeline. So you can see you have the ability to add images, you can add text, you can actually add a URL or a website, and you have the ability to include video. And when the viewer of the wall or a participant in using the wall together, if you're sharing it and other people have the ability to do different things, you can actually, you see how my mouse or my cursor has turned into a finger here. I can actually click on it and zoom into this particular image, and then I can go through all of the images in large size if I decide that I want to do that. So that's one example. Again, this is the book The Odyssey, and this is a timeline. Here's another one. This is where we're doing some comparison contrast, which one is better, and so you can see you have the individual participants in the group and they're posting their comments. So it's kind of like a digital bulletin board, and a lot of people can participate in this. One person can use it just for their needs. So that's an example of some of the things you can do. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to go and create a new Padlet. So it's as simple as clicking right here, New Padlet. And so this is my window or my dashboard screen, if you will. Now the buttons and things that I need to use are over here on the right. Modify this Padlet is what I'm going to use most of the time. I also have a little help area there, more information about Padlet itself. If I want to get back to the home screen, that's this Padlet symbol. And if I wanted to create a new Padlet, that's where the plus sign comes in. When I'm all done with the Padlet, I have options to share or export the Padlet, and that's this symbol here. So I'm going to go into modify this Padlet. So the first thing I can do is I can create a title. And I could give it a description if I wanted to. I could also add an image. And you'll see the corner here is now Bob's Test Padlet along with the image. I can take a photo from my document camera or whatever camera that I have access to get pictures, and get them on my computing device so that I can load them. I can choose some of those symbols that are here, but I don't have to deal with that at all if I don't want to. It's always a good idea to give it a title, especially if you're going to share it with some other people. Then you can just determine what your layout wants to look like. You can determine if you want any background wallpaper. So we have this little kind of grayish colored paper. I may want to have something different depending on what I'm going to do. Maybe I try this wood down here. If I'm going to do something where geography would be interesting, I can use a background like that. I'm just going to go down to wood so it's relatively plain, but that you can see it's different. Then I have a layout. I can do freeform, which is probably the easiest, but just to show you what that looks like here, this is where all I have to do is double click in any spot on this screen and the Padlet, or the new sticky if you will form. Then there's a stream, and stream looks like this, where you just have one. The next time someone enters something, it's below and below and below, so it's streaming. And then there's also the grid, so it kind of breaks your, kind of like a tic-tac-toe pattern. It breaks your screen up into some different boxes. I prefer to do freeform, but again, that's a personal choice here. Privacy, this is how you're going to share it. The default is it's a hidden link, which is probably what you're going to want to use. If you're producing something totally for public consumption, you can actually list it down here and click the totally public. Hidden view or hidden link is probably where you're going to be most of the time. Private means that only you and anybody that you list their email address gets access to that. That can be a little cumbersome at times. Password protected. I don't know that you need to use that too often. However, once you choose the type of visibility, you have to determine what you want to give them access to. Again, the default is to hidden link and can write. But you can have it where it's view only. This is like read only. So all they can do is see it. They can't do anything about it. Can write allows them to do writing as well as viewing. So they can see it, they can read it, as well as adding additional content to this wall. And can moderate, that's the full set of skills. They can view it, they can write on it, and they can edit or delete anything. They can't change the Padlet, but they can edit any of the posts that are on there. They can approve posts that do require some moderation if that's the case. So probably for most of your students, if you're building something out there for them to work on, the canned write is probably where you want them to be. So again, that's something that you have to decide. I'm going to leave it there. And I can add users here by putting in their email address and adding them. And then this is where we were talking about additional privacy controls, moderating the posts. So I can decide whether or not I want to have posts moderated. So something that you might want to do if you were sending it out to the public, you might want to have the ability to approve all posts before it's released associated with your name or your institution. Here's addresses here. This particular address is for this Padlet that I'm working on right now, so in case you needed to send it somewhere. But you could have kind of a custom one where you can pick one specifically. Maybe this is to class ABC 101 week 1 or something like that. You would have the ability to do that. Then obviously you know what copy means, and then delete if you want to get rid of this Padlet at all. Okay, so I get rid of that. Again, if I need any of those toolbars, this is where I was modifying this Padlet. And so it's simply a matter of double clicking in the screen area here, in the desktop area, and I can put my name on here, and then I can actually put some content in. Now I can just use the text. I can put a web link here. I can add that, and so it's created that particular spot. So I click out of here, and I got the ability to go back in and edit, or I can delete this thing. So anybody that's going to come in, if I'm sharing this with other people and they're also going to have read or write access, they would be able to click this attachment, and you can see it launches up into the link that I put down. So again, I can create another item. Okay, and I can upload a file. So the files that I can upload are things like documents, Excel spreadsheets, what have you. I can also upload images. I can actually take a photo from a webcam. I can upload a video. And when those people who view the particular item in the Padlet and they go into this box, just like I did up here, they can actually click on it and they can watch that particular video. So it can be used for presentation purposes, it can be used for reflection, it can be used for brainstorming. A lot of different things that you can think about that this might be able to be used for. Again, it's free. It works for mobile devices as well as web-based, so it can be used on a computer. You do not have to have an account, but in case I wanted to build something out and then share it with people, beyond that original share, if I don't save it to my account, I'm not going to have access once I go back in. So that might be something that you might want to consider, create an account for that purpose. But if you don't want to, you don't have to create an account. You can just go ahead and use Padlet to build your wall. Thank you.